Beach State on Saturday, 49-0. A big win in your final non-conference game of the year, and this non-conference was not as tough as other non-conference schedules that you've had in the past. Did you get what you wanted out of your first 3 games?
Well, it's hard to say, Jim. You know, against a team like Long Beach, you score 49 points. That may mean 7 or 14 against a real good defensive team. So you've got to keep everything in perspective. Offensively, I think we're about where we need to be. Defensively, injuries have kept us from really achieving what we'd like.
Did you get the idea after the Long Beach State game started that all I'm going to do today is run that football? Because that's basically your game plan. You just gave it to the offensive line and said, okay, here we come, right?
Yes, in effect, that's what we did. Because we wanted to establish our running game, and particularly with some of our other backs besides Jamie Morris. And so we did really stay pretty much on the ground.
Defensively, you get the big turnover early that helps you start that ground game.
Well, I think this is the first pass they threw, and it's a tip ball intercepted by Mitchell, who brought it back and slipped down there and gave us good field position. We drove the ball to the goal line, Jim, and this is an off-tackle play with Bunch, our young fullback, carrying the ball. Got down to the goal line, and in 4 shots, here's 4th and goal, an aborted option play, and we end up not scoring.
I think you didn't like that.
Well, to say that we were upset on that is unbelievable. And then they ran a couple sweeps on us early here, and particularly into the sideline, hurt us, and got a couple of first downs, and then had a penalty, and they ran a draw play. We started, defense started tightening. Actually, this team really didn't threaten us with their offense at all. But here's a 3rd down and 12. Demetrius goes back to pass and hits Chris Calloway with a fantastic catch over the middle. This youngster is one of those guys that can make the clutch catch for you. And then on a rollout here, Demetrius finally decides to run and runs in for our first touchdown.
Now, you wanted to get Demetrius Brown to take that option, the run option,
right,
instead of just throwing it all the time.
That's right. I want him to move out there. He can be a dangerous runner. He's just not done a lot of running, and he needs some experience of it. This 2 tight end offense, running off tackle play, Jamie Morris with a fine run for a first down. Really, Jim, in the running, as far as the running goes, we didn't get 5 yards. We thought it was an unsuccessful play. Here's Phil Webb coming up the middle of the fullback for another first down. We were able to really block them pretty well and run inside, and that's what we intended to do. Here's a pass, throwing back here to Trip Wellborn, a freshman receiver for a big play, on a rollout away and throwing back.
The idea of the pass really all day long was just to keep the defense honest, because you weren't concerned in saying, I'm just going to run it.
Yes, really. That's when you run that well, there's little need for passing. And so we kept pretty much on the ground. Here's the Bunch, the fullback, running in on a touchdown on an option play. And early in the 2nd period, it's 14-0.
One of the things about the wishbone, you're using the wishbone a lot in the middle of the field now, too.
Well, we'll use the wishbone anyway. It's just part of our offense now. We could use it 1st down, 2nd down in our own territory on the goal line. We want them to defense it on any down, Jim.
Your defense makes the sack, get the ball back, and there's Demetrius Brown running again.
Yes, this is a quarterback draw, and he picks up a 1st down.
He puts a lot of pressure on defense when he runs. Is that why you want him to do it more?
I want him to do a little bit more of that, yes. Here's a bootleg pass to Jeff Brown, the tight end, for another 1st down. Yes, we'd like to have him, you know, move around a little bit more. Of course, we'd run some options, do some other things with him. Here's, following a penalty, an out cut to McMurtry for a 1st down. And then Jamie comes right up the middle for a big hole and a touchdown. And it's 21-0 at halftime.
One of the things in the first half that I know that you were not pleased with was the fact that you did turn the ball over. This team has made mistakes, and you probably should have had a bigger lead at halftime.
Right. Well, actually, the terrible sequence on the goal line, the first time we were down there, Demetrius Brown had one bad series, threw an interception, and we lost one there. And then we had a fumble as well on a blitz. A linebacker came in, and Allen Jefferson dropped the ball. Now, those three series were absolutely terrible the first half, and to go in 21-0 at halftime really wasn't very good.
Well, the second half was a little better as the Wolverines put 28 on the board. Stay with us. We'll have the second half highlights when Michigan Replay continues.
All week long, you know, the word for the week was intensity. And we knew we had to have some kind of intensity this week on defense to even stop the passing game. We knew they were a passing team. We had 300 and some yards thrown against us last week, and we weren't going to let that happen this week. I had the outside third. They threw the ball to tight end, and somehow I saw the ball just slipping off his hands, and it went, you know, came to me. And I think I should have outran those linemen. I tried to cut back and slip down.
It's a good record, but it's not just Jamie Morris. It's the whole offense doing the job, and it's not, it's Jamie Morris and the offensive line on top at third place right now. We'll have to play together as a team because we lost some key people on defense, and now the offensive have to control the ball more often. You know, we have to eliminate the mistakes that we've been doing.
Maybe one of the more pleasant surprises you've ever had come into Michigan. You recruited him as a kick returner, and now he's third place all-time rusher.
Got caught from behind there, Jim. I might talk to that later
Take the
about
piano
that.
off his back, right?
Yeah, right.
But
no, he's been a tremendous performer, and he's going to have to be better in these last.
he opened it up for you in the second half, opening the first play of your drive.
This is a power-off tackle play, and Jamie found a hole and got up in the second. I think he got a couple blocks downfield there, kept people out of the way, and but the corner, number 27, ran him down before he could go all the way. This was a three-play drive for a touchdown. This is the third play of the drive, a pitch out on the power sweep to Allen Jefferson, who goes in standing up for a touchdown, and that makes it 28-0.
And talking about some speed, boy, Allen Jefferson has exhibited some big speed in your first 3 games this season.
Yes, he has, and of course, when the competition gets tougher, that'll be the telling blow. Don't ask me what happened here. I think the snap of center flew up in the air, and we recovered it, so we get possession again. Here's a Jamie runs the draw for about 15 yards, just misses getting us a first down, and forces it into a punting situation.
You know, Monty Robbins has money in the bank. He's been kicking extremely well this season.
Right. I think he averaged over 45 yards in 3 kicks in this game. This youngster, number 2, is a great return man. I've seen him run 2 of 70 yards for touchdowns, and we were very wary of him. Here, however, we caught him and he fumbled the ball, and so we're right back in business. And Jefferson hits up the middle to get it down near the goal line. We're down on the 3-yard line. And on 4th and goal, once again, we were fooling around down there. And finally, Phil Webb pounds it in for a touchdown. And we go up 35-0.
Fooling around. That I know bothers you. Inside the 10 and you don't get it in and 2 downs, you're a little upset.
You like to be thinking you get it in before the 4th down. Here's a 3rd down blitz, and we sacked the quarterback from Long Beach.
Defense really settled down after Long Beach gave you some trouble.
Right. I don't think they really threatened us too much. Here's Demetrius Brown, his last play. He throws a crossing pattern to Greg McMurtry. He goes 54 yards, 56 yards, something like that for a touchdown.
And, of course, McMurtry and Brown are getting better, it seems, every game. Demetrius had another fine game.
Well, I thought he played well. He had a couple series where he didn't play real well, but other than that, I thought overall he did a real good job. Here's an interception by Rick Castle, playing part-time in there. That's his 2nd interception in 3 games. And we get the ball back at midfield with Michael Taylor at quarterback on a 3rd down 6. Gets into a scrambling situation, comes out, and hits Bob Cernak, the tight end, for a 1st down.
And Cernak, a converted quarterback.
He's a converted quarterback. This is his first chance to play since Derek Walker was out of this game with an injury, so Cernak had an opportunity to play along. That was Bunch, the big fullback, running in here, and this is Allen Jefferson again breaking through here. Gets tackled here.
You'd like to see him take that?
I thought he should have broke that tackle and got around there and scored, but And here's the bootleg, and Michael Taylor rolls out, does exactly what he should do, has a chance to run it in, and scores, so the score goes to 49-0.
So Michigan wins 49-0, 2-1, but the biggest problem probably at the end of this non-conference schedule heading to the Big Ten is injuries. Your defense is depleted.
Well, it's depleted at positions where we can ill afford to be depleted, particularly linebacker. The loss of Andre McIntyre with a severed Achilles tendon, kind of a freak injury, really hurts. Andre is our best inside linebacker, called our defensive signals, was a leader of our defense. Fifth-year senior, he won't have an opportunity to play again, which is really sad. And we'll miss him greatly. That, coupled with the fact that we've already had 6 top defensive players out, Jim, really compounds the problem. But Michigan traditionally has been able to plug gaps. We won't have a linebacker the caliber of Andre, but we'll have somebody in there who'll battle.
And Michigan will be battling a Big Ten conference that is very, very equal in talent. Don't go away, because coming up next, our Big Ten preview. That's next when Michigan Replay continues. Michigan enters the Big Ten season. They'll face 8 conference opponents. Purdue is the one team the Wolverines will not meet in '87, but the others will provide plenty. It seems to be the year of the running back in the Big Ten, and Michigan will see some great ones. Leading the way is Michigan State's Lorenzo White, a bona fide Heisman hopeful who will be at Spartan Stadium this year against Michigan, and he runs behind a big line anchored by Tony Mandarich and Pat Shermer. Ohio State features a very good one in Vince Workman, who can light it up from anywhere. A pair of Thompsons will also test Michigan. Anthony out of Indiana is a darter and maybe the best young back in the league. Darrell of Minnesota is very dangerous because he comes flying out of the same backfield as Ricky Foggy. Iowa features a stable of backs. Rick Bayless and David Hudson are tough enough by themselves, but add Kevin Harmon to the formula, and you have a high-powered ground attack. Hawkeye Bob Cratch gives them blocking support, and tight end Mike Flagg is back for another year as a top blocker receiver. Wisconsin's Marvin Artley has adjusted well to the Badgers' veer option attack, and he's trouble for everybody. And running mate Steve Vincey is averaging better than 10 yards a carry, and Paul Gruber is their main man up front in medicine. Illinois' Lynn McClellan ran up 126 yards versus East Carolina, and he's a threat at Champaign-Urbana. Quarterbacks are fairly new through the league, but Northwestern veteran Mike Greenfield is one of the best all-around signal callers Michigan will see. Ricky Foggy of Minnesota is the premier running quarterback, as Michigan learned the hard way last year. And the only surprise in the league has been Dave Schnell of Indiana. He's in the top 5 in pass efficiency in the country, and Bobby McAllister is a legitimate run-pass threat at Michigan State to help take the heat off Lorenzo White. And Tom Tupa at Ohio State is a double threat as steady quarterback and outstanding punter. The receiving corps in the conference is talented as usual, and Hoosier Ernie Jones is an impact player, as head coach Bill Mallory said he would be. Andre Rison at Michigan State is a big play threat at any time from anywhere on the field, and the Spartans try to get him the ball often. When Chris Carter left Ohio State, it left the door open for Everett Ross, and he's made the most of his chance in Columbus and is a very capable receiver. Quinn Early is a speedster at Iowa and can break one deep at any time, while Illinois can throw to Darrell Usher or Steve Williams, and both can beat you. And don't forget Gary Couch at Minnesota, who is sometimes forgotten in the wishbone, but is a big play artist in the Gophers' arsenal. On defense, it must be the year of the linebacker, and over the season, Michigan will see some great ones, the best of which is Chris Spielman of Ohio State, and he teams up with Eric Kumro to make the Buckeyes awesome at the linebacking position. Michigan State features Tim Moore and Percy Snow as a formidable twosome that will cause trouble for runners. Indiana chips in with Van Waiters and Willie Bates to make their defense better than average, while Iowa can throw Brad Quast at you in the middle, and he'll do more than his share of damage. Northwestern's Tom Kaikalo gives the Wildcat defense some real strength, and on a team hurt through graduation, Minnesota's John Leverins is a solid player the Gophers are building on. Up front on defense are some very good ones, and Illinois' Scott Davis may be the best of the bunch as a fierce pass rusher. Iowa's Dave Haight is a tremendous nose guard and will be a tough assignment for anyone who has to block him. Spartan Mark Nichols is a cat-quick defensive end who is a big play specialist, and Wisconsin has a wrecking crew in the person of Leon Johnson at defensive tackle, who won't take no for an answer. The secondaries are also impressive, with Ohio State's William White leading the way. He picked off 3 passes in the Bucks opener. Illinois has Keith Taylor roaming around in the defensive backfield to make quarterback mistakes into turnovers. Michigan State's Todd Crum is a solid player that anchors a very good Spartan secondary. And at Iowa, Kerry Burt returns to carry on his assault on enemy passers who decide to come his way. Northwestern's Brett Whitley is a quiet player in Evanston, but gives the Wildcats a quality player in the secondary. Both Wisconsin and Minnesota are young in their secondaries, but they've got good athletes and can surprise. It's a very balanced league, and with Purdue picked low in the preseason polls, Michigan must face the best the rest has to offer in order to repeat as Big Ten champions. And as we've just seen, the best of the rest is a tall order indeed. For the first time in quite a while, I think Big Ten Conference is so even that really it is true. Any given Saturday, anybody can come up and get you.
Right. Well, I think the end of 3 games, non-conference games, Ohio State, Michigan State, Iowa, will be the most formidable. I would say Minnesota because we have to play them on the road, and Illinois because we have to play them in Champaign. Indiana's a vastly improved team. So you're right about one thing. I don't think you can take any of them lightly.
And with your defense a little bit hurt, dinged up, if you will, it's going to be a tough week every week for you.
I think so. I don't think there's any question about that. What it does is put more pressure on your offense. You can ill afford to have a bad series. You can ill afford to turn the football over. It's going to make it a little bit tougher. But, you know, maybe we have all of our injuries early, you know, and some of these others are going to get theirs later on.
Well, you'll find out soon enough, because coming up next, we'll take a closer look at the Wisconsin Badgers. That's next when Michigan Replay continues.